The air in the market smelled like ozone and burnt sugar. We pushed through the crowd. Neon lights buzzed above our heads. This was the shadow sector. You do not come here for souvenirs. You come here for things that should not exist. We were looking for an engine part. We found something else entirely. It sat on a table made of rusted iron, a book. It was heavy and bound in leather that felt too warm. The merchant watched us. He had eyes like polished glass. He did not ask for money. He asked for a promise. He said the book was a burden. We laughed it off. We thought it was a joke. We paid him 50 credits. He took the coins and vanished into the fog. We stood there with the heavy atlas. It hummed against our palms. This was our first mistake. We opened the cover. The pages were not paper. They felt like skin. Lee turned to the first map. It was not a chart of stars. It was a chart of a life. We saw a man. He stood on a cliff of gray stone. The caption said Titan. The image moved. It was not a video. It was ink flowing in real time. The man looked tired. He held a broken drill. Darkness crept around the edges of the page. It looked like oil. We leaned closer. The darkness was not ink. It was danger. The man on the page looked over his shoulder. He could feel it too. We realized the truth then. This was not a recording. We were watching him right now. The map showed us his future, and his future looked grim. We turned the page. The ink swirled faster here. Red lines spiked across the paper. This page showed a colony. The label read Europa. A storm brewed in the center, but not a weather storm. This was a gravity well. The structures on the map shook. Tiny ink figures ran for cover. A note appeared in the margin. It was written in fresh blood. Or something that looked like it. It said the storm would break in 3 days. The ink bled into the paper fibers. The urgency was palpable. We felt a spike of adrenaline. This was a call for help. We looked at each other. We were just scavengers. We were not heroes. But the book burned in our hands. Could not ignore it. We had to go. We needed a crew. A 2-man team could not handle a gravity storm. We made 3 calls. The first was to Jax. He was the best pilot in the sector. He owed us a favor. He grumbled, but agreed. The second call was to Alara. She was a surgeon who worked in the back alleys. She did not ask questions. She just packed her bag. The third call was the hardest. We needed someone to read the map. We called Saul. He was a linguist. He studied dead languages. He looked at the atlas and turned pale. He told us the text was ancient. It was star science from before the war. He said we were fools, but he climbed aboard anyway. Our ship was the Star Rider. She was an ugly brick of metal, but she had a good heart. The engine core spun up. The deck plates vibrated under our boots. We placed the atlas on the navigation console. It synced with the ship. The ink lines glowed bright blue. The ship computer accepted the data. We did not even have to type the coordinates. The map was steering us. Jax gripped the controls. His knuckles were white. He did not like trusting a book. We told him to relax. That was a lie. We were terrified. The engine roared to life. It sounded like an angry beast. We strapped into our seats. The G-force hit us. We blasted out of the dock. The jump is always the worst part. The stars stretch out. They turn into long lines of light. Your stomach does a flip. Then the universe folds. We punched through the veil. We were in the slipstream. Time does not exist here. You see things in the dark, colors that have no names. The silence is heavy. We emerged on the other side. The nav computer beeped. We were in the orbit of Europa. The planet loomed large. It was a giant ball of ice and scars. The sky was amber. It looked sick. We checked the map. The red ink was spreading. The storm was growing. We had hours, not days. Jax took us down. The atmosphere shook the hull. Flames licked the windows. We broke through the clouds. The surface was a frozen wasteland. We saw the colony. It was a cluster of domes. They looked fragile against the ice. We landed on a landing pad that was half buried. The wind howled outside. It rocked the ship. We geared up. Thermal suits and respirators. The air here was toxic. We stepped onto the ice. The cold bit through our layers. We checked the map again. It showed a dot blinking near the mines. That was our target. We trudged through the snow. Visibility was near zero. We used the map as a compass. We found him in a shelter. It was the miner from the first page. He looked older in person. His face was lined with soot. He held a wrench like a weapon. He saw us and lowered his arm. He looked confused. He asked who sent us. We showed him the book. His eyes went wide. He touched the page with his rough finger. He saw himself. He saw the danger coming. He told us his name was Kale. He said the colony was doomed. The gravity well was unstable. The company had fled. They left the workers behind. He had stayed to keep the reactor running. If it failed, everyone died. He was brave, but he was exhausted. We told him we were here to help. He laughed. It was a dry, bitter sound. He said we were too late. The storm was already here. Thunder cracked overhead. The ground lurched. Ice shards rained down. We grabbed him. We pulled him toward the ship. The wind picked up. It screamed like a banshee. We could barely stand. The gravity shifted. Up became down for a split second. We stumbled. The map in our pocket grew hot. We pulled it out. The ink was going crazy. New symbols appeared. They were swirling spirals. Sol shouted over the comms. He said the symbols were instructions. They were not just warnings. They were a code. We had to recalibrate the colony shield. Kale shook his head. He said the controls were locked. Sol insisted. He read the symbols aloud. They sounded like a song. Kale looked at the control panel on his wrist. He punched in the sequence. The ground stopped shaking. A blue dome shimmered above the colony. The wind died down instantly. We stood in the sudden silence. Kale looked at us with awe. He asked how we knew the code. We pointed to the book. The ink had settled. The red lines were fading. We were not done yet. The map flipped a page on its own. A new image formed. It showed a cavern deep underground. Something was glowing there. It was the source of the gravity well. The map wanted us to go there. Kale said it was suicide. The tunnels were unstable. We looked at the atlas. It showed a clear path. A green line snaked through the dark. We decided to trust it. We went down the lift. The air grew warmer. The walls hummed with energy. We reached the bottom. The cavern was massive. In the center stood a machine. It was ancient. It pulsed with purple light. This was the cause of the storm. It was waking up. We approached it carefully. The map vibrated. Sol walked forward. He spoke to the machine. He used words from the book. The machine responded. The purple light softened. It changed to a gentle gold. A figure materialized from the dust. It was tall and slender. It wore robes of light. A messenger. It did not speak with a mouth. We heard its voice in our heads. It said we were the first to listen. It said the atlas was a test. We had passed the first trial. The messenger raised a hand. A beam of light hit the book. The pages glowed. New maps appeared. Thousands of them. Each one was a life. The messenger faded away. The machine led silent. The gravity well was gone. We went back to the surface. The sky was clear. Jupiter hung huge and bright above us. Kale thanked us. He offered us credits. We refused. We had something better. We had the map. We returned to the Star Rider. The crew was buzzing. We had saved a colony. We felt good. But the book was not finished. It flipped to the very end. The page was different. It acted like a mirror. We looked down. We saw our own faces. The ink drew our features perfectly. It showed the cockpit of our ship. It showed us looking at the book. A chill went down our spine. We were in the story. We were not just readers. We were characters. The text below our faces was blank. A cursor blinked. It was waiting for input. The realization hit us hard. Our future was not written. The map could show us others, but it could not control us. We had a choice. We could keep following the book, or we could write our own path. Jax looked at us. He asked what it said. We closed the book. We told him it said nothing. We told him to set a course for home. He grinned and engaged the thrusters. We watched the stars streak by. They looked friendly now. We touched the cover of the atlas. It felt cool to the touch. The magic was dormant. We landed back at the shadow sector. The market was the same. The smell of ozone welcomed us. We walked to the stall. The old merchant was gone. The table was empty. We reached into our pocket. The book was gone too. In its place was a shard. It looked like glass. It hummed softly. We held it up to the neon light. It captured a reflection of the crowd. We saw glimpses of lives. A woman laughing. A child playing. A thief running. The shard was a piece of the map. It was a gift. It was a reminder. Every life is a story. We walked back to the ship. The shard stayed in our pocket. We felt lighter. We had bought a map of other people's lives, but we found our own. The universe is big. It is full of blank pages, and we have a lot of ink. Wait, there is one more thing. I need to tell you about the second jump. This happened before we got back. I almost forgot. It is important. After we left Europa, the rift opened. We were in deep space. The map did something strange. It did not show a place. It showed a time. The page turned black. Stars spun in reverse. The ship groaned. The hull twisted. We were caught in a temporal shear. Colors collided outside the viewport. Red smashed into blue. Green ate the yellow. It was beautiful and terrifying. Jax fought the controls. He yelled that we were losing power. The engine sputtered. The map was the only thing working. It projected a hologram. A safe path through the chaos. It was a narrow tunnel. We had to fly perfectly. 1 inch to the left meant death. 1 inch to the right meant erasure. Jax flew like a demon. He sweated through his suit. We shouted directions from the map. Bank left. Dive now. The ship danced through the rift. We saw visions outside. Ancient wars. Cities of crystal. Things that had not happened yet. It was a kaleidoscope of history. We burst out of the rift. Silence returned. We checked the systems. We were alive. That was when the map showed our faces. I told you that part already. But the rift changed us. We felt it. We saw things differently. The colors of the world were sharper. The sounds were clearer. We knew then that the map was not just a guide. It was a teacher. It taught us to see. We looked at Kale on the screen before we left. He was rebuilding. He was happy. We had done that. We had changed a line of ink, and it changed a life. That feeling is addictive. You want to do it again. You want to fix everything, but you can't. The shard in my pocket reminds me of that. You can only do your part. You can only write your sentence. We are back in the cockpit now. The Star Rider is resting. Jax is cleaning his console. Elara is sharpening her scalpels. Sol is reading a datapad. We are a family. A weird, dysfunctional family. But we fit. I look at the shard again. It shows a new image. Just a flash. A blue sun. A jungle of glass. Maybe the story isn't over. Maybe this is just chapter 1. The merchant said it was a burden. He was wrong. It's a key, and we are the ones who turn it. The engine is cooling down. It makes a ticking sound. Tick, tick, tick like a clock, or like a heart. We sit back in the pilot's seat. We put our boots up on the dash. The shadow sector is waking up. Lights flicker on. The crowd moves like a river. Somewhere out there is another adventure. Another person who needs a map. We will find them, or they will find us. That is how it works. You buy a ticket, you take the ride, and you hope you stick the landing. We did. This time. I wonder what the blue sun means. Sol would know. I should ask him, but not yet. Let him rest. We all need rest. The universe will wait. It has been there for billions of years. It can wait for a nap. We close our eyes. We dream of ink and stars. The hum of the shard sings us to sleep. It is a good song, a song of the road, a psalm of the void, a song of us. We are the cartographers now. We draw the lines, and we will make them straight, or maybe curved. Curved lines are more fun. Yeah, let's go with curved. Sleep well, Star Rider. Tomorrow we fly. Tomorrow we write. Tomorrow is a blank page, and we have plenty of ink. We wake up. The coffee machine is hissing. It is the best sound in the world. Jax is arguing with the computer. Elara is laughing. Sol is humming. The normal noise of life. It feels precious. We realize how close we came to losing it. The void is cold. The ship is warm. We grab a cup of coffee. It tastes like engine grease. We love it. We walk to the cargo bay. We check the supplies. We are low on fuel. We are low on food. We have plenty of stories, though. We can trade those. People love a good story, especially one that is true. We head to the airlock. The ramp lowers. The smell of the market hits us again. It is time to resupply. We need parts. We need credits. We walk past the empty stall. We tip our imaginary hats. Thanks for the ride, old man. We move deeper into the market. A vendor yells at us. He is selling lizard skewers. We buy 4. They taste like chicken. Everything tastes like chicken in space. We eat as we walk. We look for a job board. There is one near the cantina. It is full of bounties. Most are for pirates. Some are for lost cargo. One catches our eye. It is a rescue mission. A ship lost in the nebula. The text is familiar. It uses the same font as the atlas. We freeze. We look closer. The coordinates are near the blue sun. The shard in our pocket warms up. It knows. It is guiding us again. We look at each other. We grin. We tear the paper off the board. We have our next heading. We finish the skewers. We wipe our hands on our pants. We head back to the ship. Jack sees us coming. He sees the paper. He sighs. He knows that look. He starts the pre-flight sequence. Elara shakes her head. She checks her med kit. Sol puts away his datapad. He looks excited. He missed the thrill. We strap in. The engine wakes up. It roars louder this time. It knows where we are going. The blue sun. The glass jungle. A new page. We punch the coordinates. The stars stretch. Here we go again. The jump is smoother this time. We are getting used to it. We don't close our eyes. We watch the light show. We emerge in a new system. The sun is indeed blue. It casts a strange light. The planets look teal and purple. It is breathtaking. We scan for the lost ship. The sensors ping. It is drifting near an asteroid field. We approach slowly. It is an old freighter. Dark, silent. We hail them. No answer. We dock. The airlock hisses. We float inside. Zero gravity here. The corridors are empty. Dust motes dance in our torch beams. We find the crew in cryosleep. They are alive, but their ship is dead. We need to wake them. We need to tow them. It is hard work. It takes hours, but we do it. We save them. Another line of ink changed. Another tragedy averted. The shard cools down. It is happy. We are happy. We tow them to the nearest station. We get paid. We buy real food. We celebrate. This is our life now. We are the fixers. The map gave us a purpose. We used to be drifters. Now we are pathfinders. It is a good trade. We raise a glass to the empty stall, to the old man, to the ink. The universe is a big place. There are many people lost in the dark. We have a light. We have a map. We have a ship. We are coming for you. Just hold on. The Star Rider is on the way. End of log. Wait, not end, never end. The story keeps going. As long as there is road, as long as there is ink, we will keep flying. We will keep reading. We will keep writing. That is the promise. That is the job. And we love it. We really love it. Okay, now I am done. Seriously, time to fly. See you in the black.